bless you all so much for subscribing to the channel and for continuing to watch my videos. Okay, so in this video I'm going to be giving an update on my celebrations concerning Black History Month and how it's been going. So please stay tuned. So this video is actually going to be the last video that I will make concerning Black History Month. Well, concerning the celebrations for Black History Month in October. But it doesn't end there. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, that it doesn't end here, because Black people don't stop being Black when October ends, or Black history doesn't end when October ends. So this video is to just update you, and to also inform you on what to do, on like how to carry on learning about our history even when Black History Month, i.e. in the month of October, when it ends. So let's get into it. Alright, so one of the first things that I would encourage everyone to do, and I have been doing it actually, is like when October ends, or when the celebrations for Black History Month ends in this country, like in the UK, that doesn't mean that we should stop educating ourselves concerning Black history. One of the best things for all of us to do is to, read more about our history, because one thing about Black history is that it's been hidden for so long that it's kind of sad, to see, like in the society that we're in right now, that we have to dig for our history. But Black history is part of world history. Black history is part of British history. Black history is part of every history. Wherever Black people are, our history is part of that nation's history. So we have to educate ourselves on that. And one of the main ways that I do that is by reading books, books on Black history, and also by doing research. And today I wanted to share some websites with you all that would be really helpful in learning more about Black history. So one of the first websites is called blackhistorystudies.com. So this website is really good, and there's a lot of information on there that are really useful and authentic. So one thing that I've found is sometimes it can be difficult to find true information about Black history, but blackhistorystudies.com is really good. I stand by that website, and I've been using it to learn a lot of things about Black history. So you can go on there and then you can find lots of information. What they do is, as well, they do courses on Black history studies, so you can actually take one of the courses that they do and just educate yourself more about our history. There's, like I said earlier, there are so many things that we don't know because they're hidden, because we don't get taught in schools, because nobody really talks to you about them. So blackhistorystudies.com is a really good website to go, and they have resources for children as well, like to help children learn about Black history. It's really good. They even have like puzzles, puzzle pieces on there. I've gone through a lot of their resources and it's really useful. So I would encourage everyone to check out their website and continue to learn about Black history. Like I said, it doesn't end when October ends. So check out blackhistorystudies.com. Another website that I would encourage for all of us to check out, which I have been using recently as well, is the Black Cultural Archives. So Black Cultural Archives is really good. They have a lot of resources on there as well. I mean, currently I'm not sure if they're opened, but normally they will be opened to the public to come in and view their resources, kind of like a museum, but there's so much information there for the public to use. There's so much information there about Black history, especially Black history in the UK and all around the world. But currently I'm not sure if they're open, but I will link their website below so that you can all check it out. And they host exhibitions as well, so it's a really good website to go on to check out Black history in the UK, Black history, just like in general. So Black Cultural Archive is a really good place to go and check things like that out. And thirdly, I wanted to suggest an author that you can read from. That is like a really good start on our quest to know more about Black history. So one main author that I would suggest is Robin Walker. So Robin Walker is a really good author, and most of his work is around Black history. And I've been looking through some of his books lately. I mean, I haven't bought any of his books yet, but I'm hoping to buy some. But yeah, Robin Walker is a really good author to start with, in order to learn more about Black history. So I would encourage everyone to get one of his books to read. It will be a good start for us to continue to learn about our history. Yeah. Okay, so to end our Black history celebrations for this month, I thought that I would do something that I haven't really done on here before, but I talked about this book that I bought in my last video, The Color of Madness, and it's going to be one of the books I'll be reading next month. I didn't get the chance to read it in this month, so I'm going to read it in next month, God willing. So I thought I would read the foreword with you all. We would read it together. Yeah, and yeah, I just want to put it out there. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I mean, I mentioned it in my last video, but I'm really looking forward to it because mental health is such a big deal, and I know that in the UK it's such a big topic, but as well Black people and other people of color having access to mental health services can be very difficult, and I've seen it, with my own eyes. I've been working in mental health services, and I see it, and sometimes it's really like it can get really emotional. I mean, I can get really emotional when I see things like that. So I'm really looking forward to reading the book and just listening to the stories, in this book, because the book is basically made up of different stories from people who have experienced mental health services in this country, people who have gone through situations where they've had to seek for help and they've had issues doing that. When I say people, I mean Black people and other people of color. So it's really interesting to hear from people who've actually, gone through these issues, and it's one of the main reasons why I'm looking forward to reading the book. And I think as well, just to also, like learn more about it, because we say that Black people and other people of color accessing mental health services is difficult, but why is it difficult? How is it difficult? So I want to learn more about that. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm looking forward to reading this book. And if I haven't said it already, I would encourage you all to get this book, especially if you're interested in mental health. If you're interested in learning more about it, I would encourage you to get this book and just educate yourself, about why Black people and people of color why they have difficulties when it comes to accessing mental health services in the UK. I think it would be good for us all to learn about these things and know about it, so that we can make a difference, so that we can be part of the changes that we want to see. And that's another reason why I'm looking forward to reading this book. As I'm educating myself as a professional in my line of work, I want to be able to notice some of the things that makes it difficult for Black people to access mental health services, and I want to make changes in my line of work. So if you want to learn, and if you want to make some sort of changes in your line of work, not even just for someone who works in mental health, but in general, if you want to learn more about it, I would encourage you to get this book. So yeah, let's get to it. So the foreword of this book is written by Ghislaine Kinoni. I really hope I'm pronouncing the name right. But yeah, Ghislaine Kinoni. The foreword is written by this person. I'm just going to read. So the foreword is okay, just 2 pages. Well, no, sorry, 4 pages, back and front. So I'm going to read the foreword, and I hope you all enjoy it, and hopefully it would encourage you to get the book. Okay. When I was asked to write the foreword to this important collection of Black, Asian, and minority ethnic voices as they relate to experiences of psychological suffering in the UK, I felt incredibly honored. I imagined that as a therapist and psychologist who has devoted pretty much her entire career working with people of color in distress, the muses would be kind and come easy. This was not to be. The excitement quickly made way to an immense sense of responsibility, and soon I felt heavy. The weight of accountability, the anxiety of letting those whose lives have crossed mine in my work as a mental health professional down. Many over the years have blessed me with their story. Many have scared me with their story. I am thankful. Every story needed to be witnessed. All have changed me. Faces and words have stayed with me. It does not take much trying for me to start hearing cries that initially struggled to make themselves heard. Sometimes, cries that had never been heard. They have always felt like little triumphs. In the world that orders you to keep strong and to take the bricks of oppression thrown at you with a smile. Our tears are political. Our tears are victories. Being vulnerable is revolutionary. It is deeply humanizing. And saying we are hurting is also often giving ourselves permission to start to center our psychological needs. To turn inwards, but only momentarily, to better turn outwards and organize. And again, doing this work transforms you to the core, perhaps even at cellular level. Often you heal as you heal others. Have no doubt that the traumas exposed here are collective and that they are intergenerational. Few of us are exempt from being touched. The words in this anthology forces us to confront this reality. How we are all so close, yet so far from each other when we need one another. Many of us have tried, often on our own, to make sense of it all and to find our truth amidst the suffering that is often handed to us, but which we are socially or culturally expected to keep quiet, as we must keep going after all. So many depend on that. Hence why writing this forward is a privilege that comes with a heavy burden. Despite well-documented mental health inequalities and the disproportionate rates at which people of color continue to experience psychological distress, the world of real stories and lived experiences you are about to enter is a world that is not meant to exist. Often because of stigma and shame. Because too of mainstream mental health systems, inability to work with socio-political forces, and intersectional violence. It is a world of invisible pain. So as I am writing these words, I am struggling to decide whose story of distress and of resistance I should write about, whose everyday and normalized suffering I should especially not forget to make visible. That of the young people I saw in my formative years, who ended up in mental health institutions, following conflicts with the police over probably unlawful stop and searches. Those black men who, when I worked on psychiatric units in London, quietly disclosed to me they did not believe there was such a thing as schizophrenia, but feared stating so to their psychiatrist, lest they experienced more ideological and epistemic violence and additional threats to their freedom. Or perhaps the bitter distress of my colleagues who have been so violently harmed within so-called caring professions. The numerous emails I get monthly from people who desperately seek my support because their therapist is unwilling or unable to contain experiences of racism that are then just left to fester inside of them. Perhaps the traumatized black and brown women fleeing neo-colonial geopolitical contexts only to find themselves treated like colonial objects and endure further gendered and racialized violence when they are detained as soon as they reach our safe borders. This work truly changes you if you are willing to allow it to. I have learned as a child of the French cites that injustice leaves deep marks both in the body and on the soul, and I became adept at spotting them on the slumped shoulders and vacant gaze of those around me. Sometimes, psychiatric units look too much like the inner cities, poorly designed, chaotic, full of despair, and of people of color with slumped shoulders and vacant gazes. Always, such structures provide a microcosm of violence, inequalities, injustice, and abuses of power that exist at macro level. But in the same way that from within concrete house can spring the most beautifully resolute human spirit and its determination to survive, experience of psychological distress or of mental health service use can also become a life force for change. Writing one's story and one's experience is writing ourselves into being. It is asserting one's right to exist. It is saying, see me, hear me, hold me. And writing is healing, not only for the authors, but vicariously too for entire communities. As such, this collection of work is a formidable testimony to the power that lives within us and its transformational potential when we come together to speak of our lived experience. The responsibility to treat the stories shared through words or through arts in this anthology with both tender care and furious activism is not mine alone, nor is it exclusively that of the authors. The weight of the accountability over the justices so many of the contributors had to navigate is collective and it must be shared. The role of therapist is also that of a social messenger. As a reader, you are assuming something of this role too. The message is for us all to contain and to spread. I hope you will see the souls that have laid themselves bare in this anthology. I hope you will engage both with your head and with your heart. My experience is that this is the only way to be transformed. And to be transformed is to transform. But to change the world, we must first be prepared to change ourselves. This is what accountability is all about, the willingness to be transformed. Here, you are invited to start. Yeah. Okay, so that was the foreword for this book. I mean, it's really interesting. So the individual who wrote the foreword is actually a therapist, and they've worked with a lot of black people and other people of color, so they know what they're talking about. And I think the foreword is a really good place to start when you get this book, because it just sets the pace for you to begin to read all the other beautiful stories that are in this book. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I mean, I really hope that all the suggestions and all the stuff that I've been posting on my Instagram and here has helped someone in terms of celebrating Black History Month. And yeah, let's continue to learn about our history. Let's make it, our job to know more about our history. Let's make it our job to teach other others about history, young people about our history, because it helps. We need to know our background. It's really important. Yeah, that is the end. I will see you all in my next video. Stay blessed and yeah, stay safe. Bye.